My name is Ethan Edwards. I am the founder and owner of Pretentious Coffee Company, and I have been roasting coffee now for a little over 10 years. So this all started a very long time ago when I walked into a little coffee roaster and they had a fun little bumper sticker right below the register, and it said, "Friends don't let friends drink Starbucks." It got me started thinking about, okay, well, how good can coffee really be? I had a friend that had bought a coffee company, and I asked him, I was like, can I buy some green beans from you? I'd love to try roasting. So that was the first step into roasting, is this little tiny air roaster that would do a little bit at a time, but you get to play around with ideas of how coffee is supposed to taste and how it's supposed to roast. It started off as, well, we should open a coffee shop. That would be fun. And then it's like, coffee shop's got a lot of overhead, then you have to deal with employees, and you have to deal with all the other stuff. I just like the idea of starting a brand around coffee. And the simplest way to do that is, hey, I already know how to roast really well. What if we just upscaled that and wrapped it in a really fun brand? We want to be fun, we want to be open, we want everybody to enjoy coffee. That's why our brand is kind of a tongue-in-cheek humor. We want to make sure that people don't feel overwhelmed when they want to try something new with coffee. We don't really look at country of origin as much as we look at flavor profiles. There's a whole world out there that follows where coffees come from, the elevations they're growing, the farms that they're growing on. We want to make sure that it's ethically sourced, yes, but at the same time, we want to see what these coffees are tasting like. And that changes from season to season, year to year. So we go for the flavor profiles versus where they're sourced. When you roast coffee, it should rest. We usually let it rest 36 to 48 hours before we start canning it. There's so many benefits for the aluminum can, but really it was really originally made for us to stand out. They're endlessly recyclable. They don't have any plastic. We don't want cans to sit on a shelf for very long, and bags are meant to do that. That's what they're designed to do, is sit on a grocery store shelf for months at a time. This sitting next to your coffee maker looks a hell of a lot better than a crumpled up brown bag filled with beans that are probably stale by now. Our micro roasting, so we only have a small amount in stock at a time, and then that way we're never putting product out that is more than a week or two old. I have a passion for espresso only because I think it's the most efficient way to make coffee and get the most out of coffee. And if you've got a really good coffee, it's a way to test it. Most people think, oh, I'm gonna get all these flavors out of pour over, and that's great. But unless your coffee can stand up to 30 seconds of pressure and hot water running through it and you get a really good flavor out of it, then you know that you've got a really good roast. We've got a couple of things in the works. We've got a holiday blend that we're working on. They're going to be beans from Colombia and Peru that we've sourced before that taste absolutely amazing, but they're just now back in season. We're working with a distillery that is going to be making espresso martinis out of our coffee. And then we're also working with a candy company that's going to include our cans in their gift baskets. The big thing that we're working on now, though, is working with coffee carts. Coffee carts is a business that has exploded all over the United States. We are now supplying them with coffee, and not just coffee, we're supplying them our cans, which they can co-brand and then resell. So there's a lot of partnerships that are happening. Our tagline is probably too good for you. And it's a challenge to anybody that thinks that coffee is actually too good for them. It's a joke. People know that it's a joke, they see it and they go, well, let's see how good this really is. And that's what we're trying to do, is break down the barriers of snobby coffee. I don't have to go to a really high-end cafe just to be able to have my favorite drink at home. We want to continue to break down those snobby barriers. Coffee's supposed to be fun. So that's why our brand is all about picking at the fun of Pretentious Coffee. You can find us on TikTok, you can find us on Amazon, and you can find us on our website, pretentiouscoffee.co.